always thought the cruelest thing my parents ever did was refuse to help me pay for college. But I was wrong. Years later, when I finally built a life on my own, they came back not to celebrate me, but to demand that I fund my little sister's extravagant wedding, and that betrayal cut deeper than anything before. My name is Lena, and I think I realized I wasn't my parents' priority. Long before I had the courage to say it out loud, it hit me hardest the day I turned 18. I remember standing in the kitchen, holding the college acceptance letter like it was a lifeline. Mom, I said, voice shaking, I got in. I just need help with the tuition deposit. Linda didn't even look up from her phone. College is expensive, Lena, you know that. I know, I said softly, but this is important. I worked so hard. Dad walked in, grabbed a soda, and cut me off. We talked about this. We're not paying for something you might not finish. I will finish, I insisted. I just need. Chloe pranced in wearing a new designer jacket. Mom, should I get the matching boots? She asked. Mom smiled at her instantly. Of course, sweetheart. Get whatever you like. I stared at them. You can pay for her clothes but not my college. Dad sighed like I was annoying him. Chloe needs to look presentable. You'll be fine. Get a job or something. I already have a job, I whispered. I just thought. Mom finally looked at me. Look, Lena, you're not the kind of kid who needs college. You're practical, independent, you'll manage. I felt something inside me collapse. So I'm not worth the investment, she shrugged. Don't be dramatic. I remember Maya calling me that night. What happened? Your voice sounds weird. They said no, I whispered. They said I'm not worth it. What? She snapped. Lena, your parents are insane. You worked your butt off. Don't let them crush you. I just wanted them to care, I admitted, even a little. They don't deserve you, she said, but I'm here. We'll figure this out together. Her voice steadied me, but the shame still clung to me like smoke. A week later, I sat across from Grace, my mentor at my part-time job. She leaned forward. So tell me what's going on. You've been quieter than usual. I hesitated. My parents won't help with college. She didn't gasp. She didn't pity me. She just nodded. Then we make another plan. You're resourceful. You have options. Do you really think I can pull this off? I asked. She smiled softly. I wouldn't waste my time on someone who couldn't. Her words lit a tiny fire inside me. I picked up more shifts. I learned how to stretch $20 for a week. Instant noodles became my diet. Exhaustion. My roommate Tyler, my coworker, noticed the dark circles under my eyes. Are you okay? He asked one evening. I'm fine, I lied. You look half dead. Thanks, I said dryly. He crossed his arms. Seriously, what's going on? I finally told him everything: the college rejection, my parents' favoritism, how Chloe got a new phone while I reused old textbooks with missing pages. He shook his head. That's messed up, Lena. You deserve better than that. It doesn't matter, I said. I'm getting through school somehow. I don't need them. He smiled. There's the fighter. I knew she was in there. I laughed under my breath. She's tired. Then let her lean on people who actually care. He said, like me, like Maya. I didn't know how to respond, so I just nodded and kept working. The years blurred together: late nights studying, early morning shifts, meals I inhaled standing up. Every time I passed a family on campus celebrating their kid, I felt the sting all over again. I remember calling home once thinking maybe things changed. Mom, I said, I'm doing well in my classes. I might apply for an internship. That's good, she said distractedly. Hold on. Chloe wants to show me something. Chloe grabbed the phone. Lena, guess what? Mom and Dad are buying me a car. I swallowed hard. That's great, yeah. Dad says I deserve it for being their star. I had no reply. Just silence. She laughed. Anyway, good luck with your school thing. When the call ended, I put my phone down and whispered, why am I never enough? But then I remembered Maya cheering me on, Grace guiding me, Tyler backing me up. They were my real family, the ones who didn't measure my value by what I could give them. Still, late at night, alone in my tiny apartment, the old wound reopened. Why wasn't I worth what Chloe was? Why did love stop at her door? I didn't have answers then, but I knew one thing: if I wanted a future, I'd have to build it myself, and I did. Piece by painful piece, even if every step reminded me I was building it without the people who should have stood beside me. I was finally starting to believe my life was mine when the call came out of nowhere. I saw Mom on the screen and froze. She never called unless she wanted something. I answered anyway. Hello, Lena, she said cheerfully, like we were close. It's been too long. I blinked. Yeah, what's going on? Well, she said, we have wonderful news. Your sister is engaged. My stomach tightened. Chloe, already? She's getting married next spring, Mom said. It's going to be beautiful. I forced a polite tone. Tell her congratulations. Oh, she's right here, Mom said. Let me put you on speaker. No, that's Oka, too late. Chloe's voice blasted through the phone. Lena, guess what? I'm getting the wedding of the year. I rubbed my forehead. That's great, I'm happy for you. You should be, she said, because you're paying for it. I froze. What? Mom jumped in. Well, of course you are, you make good money now. And Chloe deserves the best. I laughed because I truly thought they were joking. That's funny. Really funny, it's not a joke. Dad's voice suddenly boomed through the speaker. You're finally in a position to contribute. It's time you step up for the family. I swallowed hard. Are you serious right now? Of course, Mom said. You know how important this wedding is. Chloe will bring honor to the family. I sat down slowly. You wouldn't pay for my college, you said I wasn't worth it. Dad replied without hesitation. That was different. How? I asked, my voice cracking. How is this different? Chloe is settling down. He said, she's doing something meaningful. You were just going to school. I felt something inside me twist. I worked 3 jobs to survive. Because you refused to help. Stop living in the past. Mom snapped. This is about Chloe now. Chloe chimed in again. So Lena, I need the venue deposit by next month, and the dress, and the flower arrangements, oh, and the honeymoon. I want grease my hands. Shook. Chloe, I'm not paying for your honeymoon. She scoffed. Why not? You don't have a family. You don't have kids. What else are you spending money on? My throat tightened. My own life. Dad exhaled loudly. You're being difficult again. This is why we always said you were the dramatic one. The dramatic one, I whispered. You ignored me for years. You never supported anything I did. Mom said, well, look how successful you turned out. See, our strategy worked. I felt sick. Your strategy? Yes, she said casually. Pushing you to be independent, it made you strong. You pushed me away, I said. That's not the same thing. No one answered. Then Chloe said, anyway, I need the full budget by summer. I'll send you the list. Don't cheap out. Okay. I stared at the wall. I'm not paying for your wedding. Silence. Then Dad growled. What did you say? I said no. Mom gasped. Lena, don't be selfish. This is your sister's dream. What about my dreams? I asked quietly. You didn't care about any of those. That was your choice. Dad snapped. You decided to work. You decided to do school the hard way. Don't blame us. I felt tears burn my eyes. I begged you for help. He replied coldly. You weren't worth the risk. There it was again. That same sentence. That same wound ripping open like it never healed. I whispered. I can't believe you still think that. Mom cleared her throat. Well, whether you believe it or not, we expect your support. You make enough to cover everything. You should be grateful to finally give back. I shook my head slowly. Give back? You never gave me anything. Dad's voice rose. Watch your tone. No, I said louder. I've watched my tone my entire life. And it never mattered. They didn't like that. Mom snapped. If you don't pay, the whole wedding falls apart. That's not my problem, I said. Chloe gasped dramatically. Wow. So you're just going to ruin my life? Do you know how embarrassing this will be for me? Maya stormed into my apartment at that exact moment, hearing my raised voice. She mouthed, what's happening? I put the phone on speaker. Chloe shouted. Lena's refusing to pay for my wedding. Tell her she's being awful. Maya rolled her eyes so hard I heard it. Lena, hang up. This is insanity, Mom screeched. Is that Maya? She always fills your head with nonsense. I cut her off. This conversation is over. Dad barked. Don't you dare hang. I hung up. My hands shook violently. My heart thudded against my ribs. My breathing came in short bursts. Maya sat beside me. Lena, talk to me. They want me to pay for everything, I whispered. After all the years they didn't do a thing for me? She grabbed my shoulders. Then this is where you draw the line. My anger simmered, not wild, not chaotic. Controlled. Focused. For the first time, I was ready to stop letting them shape my worth. This time, I'd decide for myself. I shouldn't have gone. Every instinct told me not to, but some part of me still hoped they'd show basic human decency. When I arrived at the restaurant, they were already seated. Mom, Dad, and Chloe smiling like this was a casual family brunch. Dad waved. Lena, finally, sit, we have a lot to discuss. I sat stiffly. I'm only here to make things clear. Chloe immediately shoved a stack of bridal magazines across the table. Perfect timing. I circled the dresses I want, and the venue, and the menu. I pushed them back. I told you, I'm not paying for this wedding. Mom sighed loudly. Lena, stop this nonsense. You owe the family. I don't owe you anything. I said. Dad leaned forward. We raised you, fed you, housed you. Do you think that was free? My jaw tightened. You didn't even want me. Mom snapped. Don't start with that pity act. It's not pity, I said. It's reality. Chloe flipped to a page with a diamond-studded dress. This one is only $12,000. You can handle that, right? I stared at her. Chloe, I'm not paying for a dress that costs more than my first car. She blinked innocently. Then, Why did you bother getting a high-paying job? Dad slammed his palm on the table. Enough. You're being selfish, Lena. Selfish, I repeated. I put myself through school alone. I worked nonstop because you refused to help. And now you want me to bankroll a party? Mom scoffed. College wasn't our responsibility. Chloe crossed her arms. Yeah, you chose that path, Dad added. And now you're choosing to disrespect us. I looked at all of them, feeling something inside me bend. Then slowly crack. You didn't support anything I ever did. Mom rolled her eyes. You're being dramatic again. No, I said firmly. I'm being honest. Chloe sighed impatiently. Can we get back to the wedding? The deposit is due in 2 weeks. And the venue I want. It's booking fast. I rubbed my temples. I'm not paying. How many times do I have to say it? Mom's voice dropped into that cold tone I knew too well. If you cared about this family, you'd help, I whispered. You never cared about me, Dad snapped. Untrue, really? I asked. Name one thing you supported. Before I could finish, the waiter approached to refill waters. They lowered their voices, but not enough. Mom hissed. We should have just used the college fund. That money was supposed to be for Chloe, Dad whispered back. I told you we should have kept it hidden. Now she's being difficult. My heartbeat stopped. College fund. Hidden. Mom continued. Well, we didn't spend it, did we? We saved it all these years for this wedding, and now look, she still refuses to help. I felt the air vanish from my lungs. So that was the truth. Not only did they have money for my education, they saved it for Chloe's wedding. The same wedding they were asking me to pay for now. Chloe noticed my expression. Why are you looking at us like that? I swallowed hard. You had money all this time. They froze. Dad coughed. That's none of your business. It was my business. I whispered. I begged you for help. I cried in my room thinking I wasn't worth it. And you had money, Mom replied coldly. We were saving it for something important. More important than my future. I asked. Chloe shrugged. My wedding is important. Something broke in me. Years of swallowed pain rushed up all at once. You let me suffer, I said. You watched me work until I collapsed. You watched me skip meals. You watched me drown in debt. And you had money the whole time, Mom snapped. Stop overreacting. No, I said, voice shaking. I'm done minimizing everything you do. I'm done pretending your choices didn't destroy me. Dad growled. Watch your tone. Young lady, I watched it my entire life, I said, and it never mattered. Nothing I did mattered to you unless it benefited Chloe. Chloe pouted. Why are you attacking me? I'm not attacking you, I said. I'm finally telling the truth. Mom glared. You're being ungrateful, Dad added, and disrespectful. I'm being awakened, I said. And I'm done paying for your cruelty. I stood up. Dad shouted. Sit down, we're not finished. We are, I whispered. We've been finished for years. I just didn't want to see it. Chloe stomped her foot like a child. You're ruining everything. No, I said. I'm saving myself. I walked out of the restaurant, legs trembling, breath shaking, heart breaking. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't breaking alone. I was breaking free. Cutting contact felt like ripping a bandage off a wound I kept pretending wasn't infected. The silence from my parents wasn't peaceful at first, it echoed. But day by day, it softened into something that felt a lot like freedom. Maya came over one night with takeout. Any word from them? No, I said, opening the box. And honestly, I hope it stays that way. She nodded. Good, let them sit in the mess they made. Tyler called the next morning. Just checking on you, he said. You sounded shaky last week. I'm okay, I told him. Just adjusting. You're doing the right thing, Lena. I wanted to believe that. And little by little, I did. Months passed. I poured myself into work. Grace recommended me for a leadership program, and for the first time, I let myself feel proud without guilt. Then, one afternoon, Maya burst into my apartment like a hurricane. Lena, she gasped. You need to sit down. What? Why? Did someone die? Not physically, she said, but Chloe's wedding just did. I blinked. What are you talking about? She shoved her phone at me. Look, there it was, Chloe's fiancé, Ethan, announcing on social media that the wedding was cancelled. My heart thudded. He ended it. Oh, he ended it, Maya said. Apparently he couldn't handle your family's entitlement. He said they were demanding money, control, and constant praise. I whispered, wow. Maya studied my face. Are you okay? I think so, I said slowly. I don't feel happy. I don't feel sad. I just feel distant. That's growth, she said. Messy, beautiful growth. 2 days later, my phone rang. I didn't answer. Then Mom called. Then Chloe. Then Dad again. Finally, a text popped up. We need to talk. It's important. I stared at it for a long time before replying. Fine. One meeting. When I walked into the small cafe near my office, they were all there. Mom with swollen eyes, Dad with a nervous twitch in his jaw, Chloe wearing no makeup for maybe the first time in her life. Chloe rushed toward me. Lena, thank God, you have to help me. I stepped back. With what? She threw her hands up. Ethan left. He said our family was toxic. Can you believe that? I raised an eyebrow. Can you? Dad snapped, don't start. I'm not starting, I said calmly. I'm listening. Mom leaned forward desperately. Lena. Sweetheart, we need support, emotionally, financially. Everything is falling apart. And you think I'm the one to fix it? I asked. Yes. Dad said, because you've always been strong, and we're family. That word, I whispered. You only use it when you want something. Mom grabbed my hand, squeezing too hard. We're sorry, okay? We shouldn't have pressured you about the wedding. We were stressed. Chloe sniffed loudly. And Ethan made everything worse. Please, Lena, help us get back on track. I looked at her carefully. What do you want? Money, a loan, another wedding fund? Dad cleared his throat. All of the above. I almost laughed. Of course, Mom whispered. We're not asking for much. You're asking for everything. I said. Again. Chloe slammed her hand on the table. Why are you being so cold? This is your family. I stared into her eyes. Where was my family when I cried in my dorm because I couldn't afford textbooks? Where were you when I worked double shifts to pay rent? Where was any of you when I begged for help with college? No one spoke. Mom tried again. We didn't know you were struggling. You did? I said. You just didn't care. Dad shook his head. You're twisting things. No. I said quietly. I'm finally seeing them clearly. Chloe wiped her nose. So you're not going to help, even now? No, I said. Not anymore. Mom gasped. Lena, I gave you chance after chance, I said, and you took everything you could, my childhood, my confidence, my peace. I'm done letting you take anything else. Dad's face crumpled. You're abandoning us. I'm choosing myself, I replied. Maybe for the first time. Silence swallowed the table. I stood. I hope you figure things out, truly, but I'm not your scapegoat. I'm not your wallet. I'm not your backup plan. I walked away before they could respond, my heart steady, my legs strong. That night, I stood by my apartment window. The city lights glowing like quiet stars. Maya texted, how did it go? I typed back, I finally ended it, and I'm okay. Tyler sent. Proud of you, Grace added, you chose yourself, that's victory. I set my phone down and breathed deeply. For years, I thought I was the broken one, but I wasn't. I was the one who survived, and finally, the one who walked away. Karma came naturally. Peace came slowly, but they came, and so did I.